All right, good evening, Omnia. Bishop here. So here we go, Transcendence 12. We're going to be running doing a ticket run here with Seymour with this. So since I already did it once, we're just going to roll through it again. I'm pretty much using the same strategy as I did in my previous video, except the difference here is I don't have a gauge charger. So I've really got to be a little bit more careful with that. Now, one thing I will say here, I do have a maxed out FR for Seymour. And the reason I did that was because I did not have King's LD. And I apologize for the Doom post here. I just, with the way the sales and the money stats have been falling for DFFOO, I got a feeling we're closer to the end than to the beginning. So I'm just kind of, as a personal thing, I'm just trying to get all the LDs, and I've got one more left now to get, and I'm deciding whether or not to get the FR. So anyway, long story on that. Sorry. In chasing King's LD, I pulled 5 Seymour FRs. So pretty much at that point, it's like, all right, let's max him out. Don't have his BT, so that's why here, instead of going with the Celes FR, once I get my turn, I'm going to go with the Seymour FR, since, you know, this tier is really kind of made for him, and he'll dispel. All right, so as you can see there, I got through the first enemy force time really without a hitch, because the one buff I wanted to make sure I dealt with was the regen one that just came up, because as you can see later on, I'm going to get wrecked by it later. But I knew Celes was, Celes had her last stand, and that was going to survive without a problem. And we got a range just blowing stuff up here with this. So as you can see, I did my first FR. This is to kind of get this guy down under 50%, get the B and C bosses to jump up. And at this point, you know, Celes is really going to eat most anything. As long as I don't get the regen buff, that's really the only thing I was ever truly concerned about was that thing, because those suckers will regen through like anything, despite the fact that I got, you know, max brave down on them for that. But we're just going to launch. And like I said, right now I'm really just focusing here on A in order to get him up and going. And I wanted to hold off until now for that LD. As you see, I'm popping it back up with that to put it on B and C. I didn't want to refresh it just in case for some reason I might not do it. Now, because of the way the turn order fell, that's why I hit Pandemonium one turn earlier than I wanted. And I wasn't going to be able to pull any. Well, I had to use this skill right here. I had to use Reigns as S1 in order to refresh that skill, or refresh the buff, excuse me. So that's why I did that there. That takes care of A. Getting a good jump here with the EX here at the end. And then so after this point, like I said, since I don't have really a gauger or a gauge charger with this, my next focus here is really going to be, I screw up here and I actually take C down a little bit more with that. But really my focus was for B, and that was to try to get I'm going to call it the HP kind of close to even. Realistically, that wasn't a big deal. I don't know why I just traded over to C there. I think it's because C was first in the turn order, and no, it was going to be a AOE attack from Reigns on that. Coming through, so as you can see, I'm getting decent charge here on my gauge. I'll actually be in just a shade behind them with this, but then, like I said, they're going to run right through their gauge, and I'm going to be setting up and getting ready to go to deal with that. So that's what I'm waiting here, is to try and make sure that they don't get the regen. So there was the regen on him. I was anticipating B getting the regen on the next one that it was going to do, which is what I was expecting it to get here. Didn't really do that, which is fine with me, because I was going to take care of it a little later on. So I was kind of debating here as to whether or not to deal with this. So it's like, all right, well, let me get cured up. So I got cured. Here come the bosses. There's the one where I ate the big regen right there. That was the reason why I used cure. So that's, I will admit it was kind of lucky. I know most people don't bring Braska as a call. I just bring Braska because when you do the LDCA, you get 20% attack up and an extra 20% overflow. So just in case, I just like using him. So I cure again, and this is, I got to admit, I got a little fast and loose here with the boss gauge. I was thinking I was going to be able to get to FR sooner than I was. Or I was going to be able to hit Reigns' FR here sooner than I was. I really kind of rolled the dice now as I realized. I was thinking, all right, I'll be fine here. You know, the boss is going to get 2 turns. You know, no big deal. And Reigns is coming in right behind it. I was like, it's 30. And then it jumped to 8. And it jumped another 8. And it was like, oh, shoot. Because I wanted to use Lunar Freight. I was like, this thing might jump all the way up. And then when it only went 8, I was like, okay, good. That's what I wanted so that Reigns could take care of the gauge. So he can't get any more gauge. They're going to be done. I just didn't want to eat another regen attack here close to the end. So I will say Luna Freya Call is a nice aid for Reigns if you've got him in the party to be able to maximize his burst effect during the burst phase. Granted, here with this, it's not really going to be a big deal, but here you're getting, you know, so yeah, you don't get quite as much on the gauge here because you're not getting a launch, but you're going to get the special BT follow-up. If that was, you know, if these guys had a lot more HP, that probably makes a big deal. They didn't have much HP, or they didn't have a whole lot of HP once I got to here, so that really changed. That really kind of didn't matter. Didn't necessarily need it. Could have just launched and kept the regular one. I think I'd have been fine because we're coming up, like I said, I was like, all right, let's take Air C. Took C out. We're pretty much going to take care of B here. I believe, yeah, so it's dead. So I actually, as you see it there, I just turned the auto on at this point and just let it auto battle the rest of the way because it's like, you know, who cares? Still adding an extra 35 million HP. All right, so I turned it off here to be able to get it. There's the victory. So there's the ticket run. Perfect that up. So there's my party. So like I said, I don't have Seymour's BT. Stinks to be me. Maybe Maria. Maybe we'll, whoever's after Maria. I forgot. Oh, shoot. That's how... I forgot who's after Maria. It's somebody. But hey, there you go. If you did watch this, if it was helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. And, you know, maybe I'll film a solo Celes running this. Maybe not. We'll see. Take care. Bye.